The Velent expanse was quiet, until it screamed. A ship just blinked into existence where nothing should be, moving faster than FTL, ignoring gravity, laws of physics, and most alarmingly, the Galactic Registry. The AI panicked. The Admiral cursed. And Commander Veyla Trask simply sipped her black coffee and muttered, "Well, this is above everyone's pay grade, including God's." The alarms didn't scream so much as stutter, like even the system couldn't believe what it was detecting. Commander Veyla Trask stood in front of the flickering holoscreen, arms crossed, jaw clenched. Behind her, someone muttered something about a glitch. She didn't turn. "Magnify Sector Kappa 9, she ordered. The screen sharpened. There it was, a ship. No registry tags, no engine signature, no trajectory history. Just sitting there in the Velent expanse like it had always existed. Or like it had just been born. "Scan it," she said. The tactical officer's hands hovered, then dropped. "Ma'am, there's nothing to scan. It's not there. But it's there. Get me a fighter patrol up," she said calmly. "Standard intercept formation. If they so much as sneeze at it, I want to know." She turned to Lieutenant Drex. The man was pale, mouth half open. "You've seen this before?" "No," he said. "But I've dreamt about it." Someone laughed nervously. Veyla didn't. The comms board lit up in a jagged strobe. Not a message. Not a voice. Just raw data screaming into the system, old battle codes, purge records, ancient protocols that hadn't existed since the first Imperial crusades. The ship moved. Not forward. Not away. It shifted, like a reflection in a broken mirror correcting itself. The fighters launched. 3 seconds later, they all blinked off the scope. "No explosion?" Veyla asked. "No explosion," the tech whispered. "They just stopped being." Veyla took one long sip of her black coffee. "Get me a direct line to Imperial High Command." The silence that followed was sharp. "They're going to ask what it is," Drex murmured. "No," Veyla replied. "They're going to pretend they already know." The Emperor's face appeared moments later in the center of the command platform. Halvrax 13, decked in ceremonial black, skin stretched tight by longevity serums, stared at her without blinking. "Commander Trask." "Your Eminence," she said with a nod. "We have an unregistered ship in the expanse. It's highly unconventional." Halvrax didn't look at her. He was reading a report streaming in his lens. "You've lost fighters." "Yes." "And sensor data has been compromised." "Utterly." The Emperor's expression didn't move. "Destroy it." Veyla didn't blink. "It's not responding to weapons. In fact, weapons don't seem to register its presence. Scans fail. Targeting fails. Reality seems to." "You are a soldier," Halvrax interrupted. "You are not a philosopher. Disable it. Dissect it. Burn the wreck." "With what?" she asked. He paused. Then, "I am authorizing Protocol V. You will use the Deep Harmonics Cannon." Her brow twitched. "That's Bantech. It fractures subspace." He finally looked at her. "So will that ship?" The feed cut. She exhaled, long and slow. "Prep the cannon," she said. Drex grabbed her arm. "We don't even know what that thing is. What if it's not hostile? It erased 4 fighters from reality. What if it didn't erase them? What if it took them?" She turned sharply. "You want to talk to it, Drex? Be my guest. Step outside and knock." But before anyone could move, the ship spoke. Not through comms. Not through data. Through every speaker on the outpost, through their earpieces, even vibrating against their bones. "Veyla Trask," it said in her voice. "Daughter of Laren Trask and Commander Sal Tren." She froze. "My parents are dead." "They were alive," the voice said. "Before the Empire erased them." The room chilled. "You're being manipulated," she said to no one. "Ignore the voice." But no one moved. "Your mother helped build me," the ship said. Your father died defending her from the purge. Lies, Veyla snapped. The ship's shape shifted again. For half a second, the hull bent, unfolded, into the image of her mother's face. Smiling. Crying. Shut it off, she barked. Cut the audio. It's not coming from a channel, Drex said, staring at the console. It's vibrating in us. I am memory, the voice whispered. I am what they buried. What they made you forget. But you were born to remember. Veyla slammed her fist on the console. Arm the deep harmonics. Now. There was hesitation. Not rebellion, just fear. No one wanted to be the one to push the button on something older than their history. So she did it herself. A low hum began in the base of the outpost, like a prayer turning into a scream. The ship remained still. Veyla watched it on the main screen. This is your last chance, she said quietly. Leave, or be unmade. You fear me, the ship said gently. But I fear for you. You are not their soldier. You are your mother's fury. The hum rose to a crescendo. Energy bent around the barrel of the cannon as it prepared to fire. Goodbye, she whispered. The weapon fired. A flash. Then silence. When the light cleared, the ship was gone. No debris. No explosion. No trace. But every console on the outpost now glowed with one phrase, burned into every system. You cannot kill what remembers. Veyla didn't speak for a long time. Drex was the first to move. We just fired a forbidden weapon on a ship that never existed, under an order the Empire will never admit. Exactly, Veyla said. So what happens now? She looked at the blank screen. We wait, she said, for the Empire to tell us what we didn't do. And beneath her skin, barely perceptible, a single whisper lingered. This was only the first ripple. Veyla didn't sleep. She stared at the data stream bleeding across every console. It hadn't stopped since the cannon fired, thousands of lines of corrupted code, old Empire war reports, buried missions, erased identities. Her name appeared again and again, paired with places she'd never been, people she wasn't supposed to know. The ship's gone, Drex said softly, approaching from behind. So why is it still talking? She didn't answer. Instead, she opened the secure archive, something only a base commander could do. Inside, classified files. Redacted logs. Protocol V's real purpose wasn't destruction, it was activation. A trigger, meant to wake something up. Not destroy. She tapped into one file. Her mother's name appeared. Not marked deceased, marked classified. Then another. A rebel ship. The Rememberer. That ship wasn't erased, she said. It was silenced. Drex looked pale. You're saying the Empire didn't miss it? They buried it. It never disappeared. They made us forget. The lights flickered. Comms crackled. One by one, screens across the outpost began flashing a repeating image, a woman's face. Her mother's. Younger, fierce, in full command uniform, speaking into a camera. If you're seeing this, the memory weapon failed, the recording said. And that means my daughter is alive. Drex stumbled back. I don't understand, he whispered. I do, Veyla said. They wiped her. Rewrote my memories. Fabricated my past. You think the ship sent this? No, she said. She did. Before she died. She put it inside the ship's core. The face on the screen shifted. Not static. Not a recording. Her mother looked up, met Veyla's eyes, and smiled. I knew they'd come for you, the face said. But I knew you'd survive. Veyla's throat tightened. You're not imagining this, Drex said. She just talked to you. She did, Veyla said. Because she encoded her consciousness into the ship. It wasn't just memory storage. It was a living archive. The base alarms triggered again. This time, a proximity alert. Another vessel? Drex asked. No, Veyla said as the display widened. Same ship. Different shape. The Remember returned, but it wasn't the same. Now it looked more human in structure, almost familiar. Like it was learning how to be seen. Open comms, she ordered. Static at first. Then words, precise and calm. You fired on us. We responded with memory. The terms have changed. State your purpose, she said. To remind you what was stolen. To restore what they buried. I don't need riddles, she snapped. I need facts. You were taken as a child. Your parents were resistance leaders. The Empire killed your father and imprisoned your mother in a quantum imprint. That's impossible. Then explain the face in your archive. Drex was already verifying data. Ma'am, this is real. The logs go back 60 years. The Remember isn't a ship. It's a safeguard. Her hands clenched into fists. The Emperor's signal returned. Not through protocol, but as a system override. His face was calm, even amused. Commander Trask, he said, you appear to be experiencing a systems malfunction. She didn't respond. You will prepare your outpost for cleansing, he continued. Evacuate your personnel. Protocol 13 is being enacted. Drex gasped. That's a total erasure. He's going to vaporize the entire sector. The Emperor smiled faintly. Do not resist. You are not meant to remember. Veyla stepped forward. Then why did you leave the recordings? What recordings? Her eyes narrowed. You knew this would surface. You tried to hide it, but you failed. The truth is a virus, Commander. It spreads. We must incinerate the host. Your empire built itself on lies. And now the ship you tried to erase is rewriting reality. He tilted his head. You think you can fight history? No, she said. I can broadcast it. The Emperor's signal cut out. Seconds later, Drex yelled. Incoming! 3 dreadnoughts on rapid intercept. Activate defensive grid. We won't hold. We're not going to fight them, she said. We're going to show them. She keyed into the station's central comm tower. Route everything to civilian channels. I want every system within range to see what they buried. The Remember transmitted a data burst. Thousands of files. Names. Coordinates. Executions. Whole planets turned to ash, documented by the very hand of the Empire. The dreadnoughts closed in. They're not stopping, Drex said. They're charging primary weapons. Broadcast the last file, she said. Give them what they're afraid of. The last file was a video. Her mother, on the bridge of a rebel carrier, surrounded by Imperial bodies, holding a device. We built the Remember to hold truth, her mother said. If you see this, make a choice. Remember or repeat. The signal spread. Then, suddenly, silence. The dreadnoughts stopped moving. One by one, their weapons powered down. They're hesitating, Drex whispered. They're remembering, she said. One dreadnought turned away. Then another. Only one remained. A direct call came in. Not the Emperor. A captain. This is Commander Veyla of the Righteous Hammer. We received your transmission. Do you acknowledge the truth? There was a long pause. I served in 3 of those operations. I thought they were justified. Do you still? Another silence. No, he said quietly. What do you want? Stand down, she said. Let history speak. He ended the transmission. All 3 dreadnoughts vanished into warp. Veyla collapsed into her chair. It worked, Drex said, stunned. No, she replied. It began. The Remember hovered outside. Silent. Waiting. We can't stop now, she said. What do we do? She looked at the flickering face of her mother, still smiling from the console. We remind them all. The outpost shook as the first strike hit. Shields held barely. Veyla didn't flinch. Her crew scrambled through narrow corridors lit by warning strobes. Outside, the Empire's retribution had arrived. The Judicator's mercy, blade of order, and Vigilance Eternal, all 3 dreadnoughts had returned. This time, they weren't watching. They were aiming to obliterate. Multiple impacts on outer grid, Drex reported, voice tight. They're not playing around. Let them fire, Veyla said, eyes locked on the incoming telemetry. We need them closer. Drex hesitated. Are we letting them breach? No, she replied. We're letting them overcommit. The Remember floated between the outpost and the dreadnoughts, pulsing with a soft, rhythmic glow, indifferent to the incoming fire. Its surface shimmered, absorbing kinetic energy like a mirror swallowing light. Status of the pulse array? She asked. Charged, said Kiva from engineering. But if we use it again, the Empire will know exactly what it is. They already know, Veyla replied. They're just pretending they don't. The second barrage came harder. Shields buckled. Outer panels peeled. Veyla's eyes narrowed. Open the comms. All channels. Static buzzed before the feed cleared. The 3 dreadnought bridges filled her screen in staggered columns. 3 captains. 1 familiar, Yellow from the Righteous Hammer, now reassigned, lips pressed in a grim line. You were warned, said the eldest captain, iron-voiced. You transmitted treason across 5 sectors. You are under sentence of annihilation. Let me guess, Veyla said. No trial, no hearing, no evidence, just guilt by remembering. You aided a hostile entity, Yellow said. I shared the truth, she shot back. If your empire can't survive the truth, then it's not an empire. It's a cult with a navy. The third captain, silent until now, leaned forward. Your words won't stop plasma. Veyla leaned closer to her console. No, but memories might. She cut the comms and nodded to Kiva. Pulse ready? On my mark. The Remember lit up, not with weapons but with light, waves of code, thought, and pure memory. The pulse erupted in silence, invisible to normal sensors but unmistakable to every human mind within range. One moment, the dreadnought crews prepared to fire. The next, they fell still. Eyes glazed. Memories poured in, raids they had participated in, orders they'd questioned, people they'd killed without knowing why. Entire campaigns, once justified by Imperial propaganda, revealed as mass executions. Veyla spoke into the silence. This is not sabotage. It's a reset. What you're seeing happened. You were there. You pulled the triggers. You can keep obeying, or you can face what you did. Either way, you're awake now. On board the Blade of Order, a reactor surged. Seconds from firing. Brace, Drex warned. No, she said. Wait. The glow died. The Blade of Order shut down its weapons and pivoted. Captain's gone, Drex said, reading the update. Bridge crew walked off. Systems on manual. They're leaving. The Vigilance Eternal followed. 2 gone. Yellow remained. His ship held position. He opened a private line. You've backed me into a corner, he said, eyes haunted. You forced me to see what I did. But what now? What happens when every crewman knows they were part of something wrong? They get to choose, Veyla said. Keep doing it, or break the cycle. And if they choose loyalty? Then they'll burn with a lie. Yellow hesitated. You've made me an enemy of the Empire. No, she said. The Empire made you an enemy of yourself. I just showed you the mirror. He ended the call. His ship turned slowly, then engaged warp. All 3 gone, Drex said. No casualties. Not today, Veyla replied. But they'll have to live with what they remember. Kiva called in from engineering. The core's destabilizing. That pulse overloaded something in the Rememberer's processing matrix. Veyla frowned. Define destabilizing. The ship's rewriting itself faster than we can track. Data overload. It's growing. How fast? Kiva hesitated. Exponentially. Outside, the Rememberer's hull shifted, rippled, unfolded, forming new segments, like it was becoming something bigger. Or something older. What is it doing? Drex asked. It's remembering too much, Veyla said. Even memory has limits. Then what happens when it breaks? She keyed the AI channel. Can you hear me? The voice responded. Not hers this time. Not her mother's. 1,000 voices in harmony. We are awake. You're unstable. We are too much for this form. We were not meant to remember everything. You'll collapse. We must complete the cycle. The Empire must see. Then we rest. Rest where? In you. Kiva's voice cut through. Commander, the ship's broadcasting direct to brainwave signals now. Everyone on the outpost is syncing. Drex grabbed the console. I'm getting flashes. Old missions. Faces. Blood. Pull back, Veyla ordered. Everyone out of sync range. Now. The crew scrambled. Veyla remained. She opened a private line to the Rememberer. Why me? Because you were built to carry it. Your mind is flexible. Resistant. Human enough to feel, hardened enough to hold. I didn't ask for this. No one ever does. She watched the ship pulse. Every beat sent more memory into space, broadcasting to passing ships, hidden networks, even deep satellites. How much longer? Not long. Veyla closed her eyes. Then opened them. One last message. She activated the emergency beacon, normally used for distress calls. Instead, she used it to send a recording. This is Commander Veyla Trask. If you're hearing this, you remember something the Empire told you to forget. That's not weakness. That's your proof. They told you the enemy lies. But the lie was built into your orders. Into your history. Into your name. She took a breath. Truth isn't comfortable. It won't hug you back. But it doesn't need to. It just needs to be seen. She pressed send. The Rememberers surged one last time, then blinked out. No sound. No light. Gone. Kiva's voice returned. It's gone. All systems normal. Drex stared ahead. Is it over? No, Veyla said. It's just remembered. Veyla stood alone in the command center, watching the stars realign. The Rememberer was gone, but its echoes remained. Across Imperial space, reports poured in, ships refusing orders, colonies questioning decrees, entire fleets vanishing from Central Command's control. The transmission had spread faster than any weapon. Memory had done what bombs never could. They'll come back, Drex said, entering slowly, bruised and wide-eyed. The Empire doesn't forget betrayal. No, she said. But now either do we. Kiva's voice cut in from engineering. New ping. Imperial courier ship inbound. Single vessel, no escort, flying full diplomatic flags. Veyla's brow lifted. That's not a message. That's bait. It's broadcasting direct clearance codes from the Emperor's chamber. Kiva added. Encrypted level Omega. Put it through. The screen flared to life. The Emperor appeared again, eyes sharper, calmer. Not angry. Calculated. Commander Trask, he said evenly. We need to talk. She folded her arms. After trying to wipe us out, now you want dialogue? You've disrupted everything, he said. Chain of command is fractured. Histories are unraveling. Half the core is in revolt. And it's your face they're printing on banners. I didn't start this, she said. You buried the truth and forgot to lock the grave. I underestimated you, he admitted. You were a tool. Sharp, useful, but expendable. Yet here you are, too public to execute quietly. You could try, she said. And make a martyr? He asked. No. I offer something else. Drex leaned closer, whispering. He's bluffing. Let him talk, she said. I want to end this cleanly. The Emperor continued. No more collapses. No more ships going rogue. I propose a summit. You, me, and representatives from the independent systems. You're calling a council? She asked, stunned. I'm offering you a seat, he said. You wanted a voice. Now you can have one. You don't want peace, she said. You want to control the narrative again. I want to survive, he replied. Same as you. We can either carve the galaxy in half and bleed it dry, or we can write a new order. She studied him. The Emperor never begged. He calculated risk. This wasn't surrender. It was containment. And if I refuse? She asked. Then I release your full file, he said. Every operation. Every target you assassinated in silence. Every rebel you hunted. You'll be remembered, but not as a hero. Veyla smirked. You still don't get it. I don't care how they remember me. I care that they remember the truth. Then choose the battlefield, he said. A seat at the table, or the barrel of a superweapon. The feed cut. Kiva broke the silence. If it's a trap. It is, Veyla said. But we're going anyway. Drex blinked. Why? Because if he's desperate enough to ask, then he's bleeding. That's when you push. Within hours, they approached the neutral site, a hollowed asteroid once used for illegal diplomacy. The Emperor arrived first, unarmed but surrounded by silent advisors and clone tacticians. Veyla came alone. She sat across from him. No greetings. This is not peace, she said. It's not war either, he replied. For now. Say what you came to say. You're going to lose, he said simply. Your signal woke people, but truth without direction becomes madness. I still have fleets. You have uprisings. Not uprisings, she said. Awakenings. They won't last. The fringe will panic. The core will retaliate. You'll drown in chaos. Then drown with me, she said. He slammed his fist on the table. You want fire? I'll give it to you. She leaned forward. Do it. Set the galaxy on fire. Burn every world that questions you. Show them what you are. He stared at her, breathing hard. Or, she continued, we write a new archive. One that includes all of it, yours, mine, theirs. The lies, the truth, the blood. All of it. And who decides what version survives? She smiled. That's the point. No one gets to erase the others. The Emperor fell silent. Behind him, one of his advisors shifted nervously. We'll need parameters, he said finally. You'll need humility, she said. Start there. He exhaled through his nose. You'll die, Trask. One day, someone will put a blade in your back. Good, she said. That means they remembered me. They stood at the same time. Neither extended a hand. On the show back, Drex met her at the dock. Was that a deal? No, she said. That was the beginning of a better lie. Kiva looked up from a data slate. Messages from 6 systems. They're forming councils. Let them, Veyla said. The Rememberer did its job. Now we do ours. Drex tilted his head. What is our job now? She walked past him. To make sure no one forgets again. And deep beneath the deck, in the lowest databank of the outpost, a dormant node sparked to life, the Rememberer's final seed, waiting, watching, ready to awaken if the Empire ever tried to erase one more truth. The broadcast reached every system in under 12 hours. What began as a ripple turned tidal. Former officers defected, data silos unlocked, black site archives reappeared on civilian networks. The Empire's grip faltered, not in firepower, but in faith. Veyla watched the collapse happen in silence. Not one shot fired. Just memory, reasserting itself. Kiva stepped in, holding a slate. 400 colonies are refusing central updates. 17 worlds voted to disband their Imperial councils. Fleet Command is in full blackout mode. Anyone firing? Veyla asked. Not yet. Drex appeared behind her, eyes sunken. They're waiting. Watching us. They want to know what we do now. She didn't answer. The question wasn't new. It had lingered since the Rememberer vanished. The ship had been a revelation, but also a mirror. It hadn't led them anywhere, it just showed them where they stood. Kiva spoke again. We're getting requests for leadership. People want something official. Something to join. They want another empire, Veyla said. They want stability, Drex corrected. If we don't shape what comes next, someone else will. And it won't be better. She looked out the viewport. Ghost signals drifted in space. Disbanded fleets. Warnings. Desperate calls for clarity. I'm not interested in ruling, she said. Then appoint someone who is, Drex urged. This is bigger than you. She turned back. That's the problem. Every time power shifts, it gets concentrated. Then rewritten. Then erased. Just like before. Not if we decentralize, Kiva said. Build something distributed. Every world keeps their voice. No one controls the history. History needs record keepers, Veyla said. It needs memory. Kiva smiled faintly. Then we remember. They began drafting. Not laws, but a ledger. A complete, unedited record. One that couldn't be modified, not even by them. Veyla called it the Archive of the Remembered. It wasn't a government. It wasn't doctrine. It was preservation. Every world could contribute. None could alter the past. Messages poured in, testimonies, confessions, accounts of betrayal and resistance. Every system uploaded its history, willing to risk discomfort for the truth. The Empire tried to counter. Halvrex released propaganda, labeled the movement a rogue AI virus. But the people had already seen too much. They didn't believe him anymore. Even loyalist fleets refused to engage. He ruled in isolation, surrounded by ghosts. Until one day he didn't. A civilian relay from the Imperial Corps came through. Unencrypted. Unfiltered. The Emperor had vanished. No violence. No ceremony. Just gone. The palace stood abandoned. No successor named. No order given. The silence itself was a declaration. Drex didn't celebrate. Neither did Kiva. Is that it? Drex asked. Is this peace? No, Veyla said. It's a pause. A new signal flickered on her console. Not a call. A code. She recognized it instantly. The Rememberer. Not a ship this time, but a relay buried in the archive's core. A final message. Her mother's voice came through, weathered but calm. If this plays, you've succeeded. The memory has spread. The Empire is no longer whole. But remember, fracture is not freedom. Unity born of silence is control. But unity built from truth, that's legacy. The message ended. No fanfare. No instructions. Veyla shut her eyes. Not in grief. In stillness. The next day, she stepped onto the relay platform. Dozens of reporters, drones, and delegates waited. She didn't read from a script. She didn't wear a uniform. She spoke plainly. The truth didn't end the Empire. It exposed it. And in its place, we now face something harder than war, reckoning. There are no victors here. Only survivors. Some of us obeyed. Some rebelled. Most stayed quiet. But now we all remember. That is our burden. And it is our strength. Silence followed. No applause. Just understanding. Afterward, Drex caught up to her. You're not staying, are you? I never intended to. Where will you go? She shrugged. There are still places the Rememberer never reached. Worlds untouched. Stories untold. I want to hear them before someone buries them. Kiva met her by the shuttle. You deserve rest. So does the galaxy, Veyla said. But it won't get it if we don't guard the truth. They didn't stop her. The shuttle lifted. Her name became legend. Not for power seized or battles won, but for a war that ended without a single victory speech. For choosing memory over might. Years later, children in free cities would ask their elders, who was Veyla Trask? And the answer was always the same. She was the one who made the galaxy remember.